Hello and welcome. Being who we really are means when we feel upset about a situation, that is to say, when we're feeling hurt or we're angry, we have to really feel it. Now, at first, when we start practicing, we don't want to be in touch with the feelings because, let's be honest, a lot of them, whether it's hurt, anger, resentment, jealousy, they're born out of pain. And we don't like that because that pain feels at first like it's the very last thing that you ever want to feel. But the truth is, when we really truly experience what we're feeling, whatever it is, at every moment, there is freedom. Sometimes people will say, well, yeah, I'm in touch with who I am. I know my body's tight. But that's not experiencing. For one thing, when you're saying, I know my body is tight, you're already separating your knowing and the body. So there's duality there. You're in your ego mind. You're assuming that there's even an I and something knowing something else. So again, you're dividing, there's duality. And when the world is split, you cannot have peace and you cannot have freedom. You might say, well, I know I'm suffering. I can really feel it. But again, that's not experiencing. Because when you're really experiencing, you're not even feeling the suffering or the anger because you are it. You are it. So the word experiencing can confuse people sometimes. And really, it doesn't mean anything more than just for a second being without thought, not thinking. It's just whatever you are when you're not thinking about yourself. Just let your mind go quiet. You feel whatever you feel, and that's it. Now, if you're really upset, naturally the body will be contracted in a more interesting way. But most experiencing doesn't really feel like anything much at all. Yet, when you can just experience, your life transforms. It doesn't mean thoughts aren't going to come across your mind, but it's as though the thoughts, they bubble up and out of the water. You experience them, you release them, and they disappear, they go away. But really, what we tend to do is follow every thought in our head, and then we create a story, a fantasy, instead of just letting the thoughts come up and disappear, which is what they naturally will do. And now, this isn't really something that you can try to force. You can't try to let go. Who is the letting go? You can't try to fix yourself. You can't try to be an accepting person. But what you can do is experience the feeling of not accepting something. How many times can you just sit with that feeling? Well, really, most people can only do that for about 3 or 4 seconds. But the more we experience, the less we need things to be any different, and the less we are attached, and the less we are to judge. Needless to say, a life that grows from that kind of a practice has a life that is more compassionate and open and peaceful. There's more freedom. It doesn't mean you don't fight for things, and it doesn't mean you don't act. But when you do so from a place of quiet and attention and groundedness. Going into real experiencing can feel like a tremendous loss at first, and it kind of is because it's the loss of who you believe you are. You lose what you thought was your identity, and that's frightening. It's scary at first. You don't want to lose anything. And what we're really afraid of is that we have to give up all these ideas about, well, I'm this and I'm that. Well, I have to have this and I have to have that, and so on and so on. When you're just in experiencing and just being, there's none of that. Now, you may have the thought, well, I don't like a lot of these thoughts, and you may not like them, but we just observe and we watch. We'd much rather choose to be with what's familiar, which is being attached to our ego. But this is why we practice, for the freedom. It is difficult, yes, but so worth it. I'm sending you love. Thank you for being here, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.